Who do you think you are, sitting in my home like that?
Your home? This is soon going to be my home. Our home, right, Rob?
Right, dear Gloria. This is my fiancée, Rebecca. I had stopped having feelings for you a long time ago. We need to break up.
Huh? So you were cheating on me? With someone of your daughter's age?
Oh, please, Gloria. Age is just a number. If you had my body and my face, you would get what I mean.
You shut up. I'm not talking to you. Robert, I'm not moving out. This is my house.
Really? Have you ever paid 1 penny for it? This is my money, my house. I'll give you 2 days and then you'll have to be out.
So you want a divorce, huh? Very well then, you will have to pay for it. Don't forget what we agreed with each other in the prenup.
What prenup? Oh, just some pieces of paper that I'm going to burn right now?
What? What do you think you're doing?
There is no prenup anymore, Gloria. Move out of my house.
My name is Gloria, and I thought I knew everything about my life. I was in my early 50s, married to Robert for 25 years, with 2 children in their early 20s. We were the picture-perfect family, or so I thought. Our marriage was actually not based on love, but rather on a setup by our parents. They were longtime friends and thought Robert and I were made for each other. But after the wedding, Robert and I had grown to love each other over the years. The longer we stayed together, the more we cared about each other. Just a year in, I could already tell that I was slowly falling for him. He said that he felt the same. But I guess after so many years, things had slowly changed. I had been feeling like something was off. That year, it felt like we had all the time in the world, as both of our kids had started their own families and began to build their lives together. We were so proud of them and all that they had accomplished. Feeling so thankful for being able to witness such a special moment in our lives, around this time, Robert said that he felt ready to retire since our kids were all grown and we had saved enough money over the years to support the move. I agreed with him, and so I supported his decision wholeheartedly. That was when our arguments began to occur more frequently. Robert thought that I should continue taking on all the responsibilities at home, while I expected him to contribute more now that he was no longer working. But it seemed like Robert was so used to his old ways that it was impossible for him to change. Even when it was for the sake of his own family, it got to the point of unbearable. One day I was feeling really sick and vulnerable, so I couldn't even get up from bed to do the simplest task. Instead of caring for me like a good husband, Robert just decided to go out to the local pub downtown and left me alone in the house. I was livid and finally realized that I had been overlooking his careless attitude toward me all these years. That night he came home late and reeked of floral perfume, a sign that my suspicions were right and that something was off about our marriage. I started to wonder if he had been cheating on me. I mean, I knew that Robert never wore perfume, and the smell I noticed must have come from a woman's deodorant. Unfortunately, I had no concrete evidence to prove that my suspicions were spot on, but my gut feeling had always been strong, and I knew I had to do something to figure out what was going on. You can call me crazy or suspicious, but I just had to do it for myself. I had bought a camera and strategically placed it in our bedroom where it was almost impossible to be noticed. I knew that Robert had never been a detail-oriented person, so he wouldn't notice if something was slightly different. And then I told him that I needed some time away from home and wanted to stay at my son's place for a while to get better. This was something that I felt was necessary to help me gain clarity, perspective, and a renewed sense of hope. I promised myself to never doubt him again if he passed that crazy test. I was praying that I was just being paranoid, because as strong as my gut feeling was, I hoped that I was wrong. But sadly, I wasn't. Just as I had suspected during those couple of days he took home a woman. I couldn't make out her features properly, but she looked incredibly young, almost the same age as our children or even younger. Even though I had thought of that scenario, it still hit me like a truck. My heart sank as I watched the footage on screen. They were laughing and chatting, looking like they were having the time of their lives. I felt a wave of nausea wash over me as I watched them walk through the bedroom door. I was shaking. It was supposed to be our home, the home we had built together over the past 25 years, the home where we had raised our children and made countless memories. And now he was bringing this woman into our home? How could he do that to me? How was I supposed to go on from there? All of these questions clouded my mind and shook me to the core. I felt like my whole world was crumbling around me. I couldn't bear to watch anymore, so I turned off my screen and sat in silence. My mind was racing with a million thoughts and emotions. Anger, sadness, betrayal, and hurt all mixed together in a confusing jumble. But with the proof in hand, I knew I could file for a divorce. Robert and I signed a prenup with an agreement that if either one of us cheated, the other would have the house and all of our joint properties and money. I knew that divorce was the unavoidable end of our marriage. I waited for a few days to calm my mind before packing my belongings again and returning to our house. To my absolute surprise and disgust, Robert dared to invite that woman to stay and confront me. As soon as I opened the door to my house, I saw her, the other woman in our marriage. Yet, she looked so arrogant and proud, as if she had won a competition of some sort. I wanted to cry, but I held back all the tears. She didn't deserve to see me in my most vulnerable state. She's a rude and unwelcome guest, and I would treat her like one. I raised my voice, giving her the fiercest look I could. Who do you think you are, sitting in my home like that? Your home? This is going to be my home. Our home, right, Rob?
Right, dear. Gloria, this is my fiancée Rebecca. I had stopped having feelings for you a long time ago. We need to break up.
Huh? So you were cheating on me? With someone of our daughter's age? Oh, please, Gloria. Age is just a number. If you had my body and my face, you would get what I mean. You shut up. I'm not talking to you. Robert, I am not moving out. This is my house.
Really? Have you ever paid 1 penny for it? This is my money, my house. I'll give you 2 days. And then you will have to be out.
So, you want a divorce, huh? Very well then, you'll have to pay for it. Don't forget what we agreed with each other in the prenup.
What prenup? Oh, just some pieces of papers that I'm going to burn right now?
Robert looked dead at me in the eyes, with some documents in his hands. I could see the big title on the papers. They do look like a prenup agreement. I was taken aback by Robert's cruel smile. He held up a small lighter, in just a few seconds, lit the papers on fire. What? What do you think you're doing?
There is no prenup anymore, Gloria. Move out of my house.
You think you've won the game, Robert?
Gloria, I know we have. Don't you know that Robert had already transferred all the money from your joint account to mine? You shouldn't have left your home for so long. I mean, the place needed a new woman. Am I right?
You're always right, dear. Gloria, I'm so sick of you already. Get the hell out.
I took a deep breath and squared my shoulders as I stood there, looking at them. I knew what I was about to do was going to be difficult, but I had to do it. I had to stand up for myself and make my own husband my enemy. His hurtful words echoed in my head, and I could feel the anger boiling inside of me. I knew I had to let it out.
So, any last words?
Yes, actually. I just want to let you see something that I have on my phone and will possibly send to everyone we know. I turned the screen of my phone towards them. They doubtfully took a peek and immediately their faces turned blue. It was the footage of them in bed together doing the unspeakable.
What? Your turn to be speechless? Interesting.
They were furious. Rebecca immediately walked towards me, snapped the phone out of my hand, and threw it away. The phone hit the wall and fell hard on the ground. The screen was broken, but I remained as calm as I could. Oh, do you think that's going to solve everything? Don't you young people have a lot of exposure to technology? You know that I could store it online anywhere I want, right? And maybe if I feel like it, I could send it to anyone who wants to see it. You ugly old witch! You're just jealous that I'm younger and more beautiful than you. Why don't you admit it, huh? You're never gonna have what I do. Not anymore. You're right. I am so jealous. I am so jealous that I've placed so many cameras around this house just to watch you. Could you believe it? What? Look around you. You're practically in a TV show now if I decide to make some edits later. They looked around just to see tiny blinking red dots all over the house, at the corner of the ceiling, on the bookshelf, behind the TV. They didn't know that I had come prepared because besides the one camera in the bedroom, I had ordered several more for every other room in the house. You sick woman, you snake! With the prenup gone, there is nothing you can do, witch. We have burned Robert's copy and yours. There is no proof. Sure, you could get a divorce, but the money will be mine. You really think that I'd leave my copy at home once I thought of all the cameras? Like, how stupid do you think I am? What are you talking about?
Wait, this copy isn't real?
Robert looked at the copy burning on the ground again. He couldn't tell if it was real or not because most of it had already been burned. He was furious.
When did you replace it? How did you know?
This is my house, Robert. I think you should worry less about me and more about your mistress, though. How are you going to provide for her now?
Rebecca is not with me for money.
Wait, what? You mean you're not gonna have the house or the money? What the hell? That wasn't what you had promised me.
Wait, listen, just let me explain.
Explain all you want, Robert. She knows she's going to be stuck with an old, pathetic, disloyal man with no money and no hairline for that matter.
You shut up.
I am done here. Clean up your own mess before dragging me down with you.
Wait, Rebecca, I'm sure everything will be fine. I just need some time.
Rebecca immediately stormed out of the room, looking more furious than ever. Robert was left alone, looking in disbelief. I watched the man blank out for a minute, and then I turned away. He's my husband, but he was not worth my tears anymore. And so, just as planned, I took both of them to court. It wasn't an easy road, but justice was served in the end. Robert and Rebecca were both sued for fraud, and with such concrete evidence, they lost the case. Such a scandalous event was discussed by everyone now. The whole town knew about his affair, and he had to cut contact with everyone. Our children, of course, found out about it, and breaking the news to them was one of the hardest things I had ever done. But they stayed strong for me and took my side unconditionally. They helped me build my life up again from scratch, and they were the main reasons why I had been so strong throughout it all. I, on the other hand, took the house and used the money from the settlement to renovate it and make it my dream. It wasn't just the physical space that had changed, I had also transformed on the inside. I had found a strength and resilience I never knew I had. I had moved on from the pain and betrayal so that I could finally live my best life without having to worry about a terrible partner. I had made new friends, taken up new hobbies, and found a renewed sense of purpose. I no longer needed Robert to feel fueled. I was happy and content on my own, and that was the most empowering feeling of all. Looking back on everything that had happened, I realized that it was all for the best. Robert's betrayal had been the catalyst for my growth and transformation. I had emerged from the experience stronger, wiser, and happier than before. Life was good, and I knew that no matter what challenges lay ahead, I had the strength and resilience to face them